and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. The Salvation Army Life Enrichment Center is staying busy this summer. We'll tell you how. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. could make a big announcement regarding his presidential campaign this week. The details coming up. Plus, a new labor market survey shows that percentage of Americans are on the job hunt.
And you can probably take a guess what I'm going to say. It's going to be hot today, still plenty of heat advisories and also excessive heat warnings in effect, which is why we have one more day of alert days. We're going to take a look at how hot it's going to get coming up in the weather.
And Goliad football ready to challenge a lot of 3A teams heading into the Crossroads. That's in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, I am Amaya Norman.
And I'm Parker Cox. Today is Thursday, August 22nd. The time is now 6 o'clock, almost 6:01 on your, I like to call it Friday Eve because tomorrow's Friday and we're going on to the weekend. And we actually have some good news going into the weekend. Can you guess what that is?
What?
Some rain.
Oh.
We might see some rain, Amaya. Have you been waiting for that rain?
Yes, I have.
Yes, it has been so hot out there lately. We've been all probably waiting for that rain to come back. Well, folks, we're going to look at that in just a second because until then, it's going to be another hot day, so please get ready for it. Right now, you're looking live here in Victoria. Another warm, actually quite warm morning out there. Right now, it's sitting at 81 degrees. Along the Median Coast, you are in the mid-80s for air temperatures this morning, but still plenty humid out there with the dew point at a very wet 79. Bringing humidity to 94%. I'm not expecting any fog out there. That's the good news for today. But we do have an alert day for one more day, just today. That's going to be because our air temperature is going to be between 100 to 105 for some today. Be careful in that heat. But your heat indices, that's going to be up to 116 for some today. Yesterday they got up to 117. I think somewhere may have hit 118. I'll have to double check that. But we do still have heat advisories. That's all these kind of tan colors here. And then the red is the excessive heat warnings. That's for those extreme temperatures out there. So make sure to be careful out there in the heat today. Drink lots of water. Make sure to also know the warning signs of heat exhaustion. This could save your life because that can lead to heat stroke. But good news for you today. If you don't like the heat, here's what's coming our way this weekend. High pressure is going to continue to keep breaking down with the low pressure up there on the northeast coast. Continue to break that down with the shear. And then an upper level low, very weak one is going to come right around that, bringing us maybe some rain and some cloud cover this weekend. We'll take a look at that coming up in the full forecast next. For now, back to you, Maya.
Thank you, Parker. The Salvation Army of Victoria Life Enrichment Center has been actively staying busy this summer. 48 clients attended 2 free medical clinics there in June and July. Doctors were provided by the Deterra Residence Program and nurses were provided by Methodist Health Care Ministries. Texas A&M Extension Service hosted classes on cooking well and handling stress. PAM Health will also host classes at the Life Enrichment Center on the dangers of vaping. As the heat continues, cities and crossroads areas starts to open cooling centers. The city of Cuero has started 2 cooling centers that are open Monday through Friday. One is at the Cuero Public Library, 207 East Main Street from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The other is at the Cuero Fire Department, 219 East Main Street from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. A man arrested by Lavaca County deputy last January will appear in district court today. 20-year-old Masuz Mendaloya from Buda is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. On January 1st, a man was beaten and stabbed by 3 men near Moulton. Another man arrested then, 23-year-old Miguel Mendayola of Buda, is still in the Lavaca County Jail. Bond is set for both of them at $75,000 each. They are also both held on an ICE immigration detainer. There's a town hall set for today at 6:30 p.m. in Bloomington to discuss a nonprofit plan to incorporate parts of Bloomington as a village of Bloomington. The nonprofit wanted it on the ballot this November, but the 13 courts of appeal ruled the group have not met the requirements to have the Victoria County Commissioner Court call for an election. This meeting is at 13316 State Highway 185 in Bloomington. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is planning to end his campaign and endorse former President Trump's. A source says that the talks are ongoing, but clarity will be given by the end of the week. One of the sources says the campaigns are working towards a joint appearance. Both Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. have announced separate events in the Phoenix area on Friday. Kennedy spokesperson posted on X today that his boss plans to address the nation live on Friday about the present historical movements and his path forward. Now to the latest fallout for a Detroit judge. He has been temporarily removed from the bench after handcuffing a teen who visited his courtroom. This morning, we're getting a first look at the lawsuit filed by the teen's family.
It's been pretty devastating.
This morning, the family of a 15-year-old girl in Michigan has filed a lawsuit against the Detroit judge, accusing him of humiliation, false arrest, and unlawful detention after he targeted the teen during a courtroom field trip.
One thing you'll learn about my courtroom is that I am not a toy. I'm not to be played with.
Judge Kenneth King first berated Eva Goodman for falling asleep, then had her handcuffed, ordered her to change into a jail uniform, and threatened to put her in a juvenile detention center.
I'm going to go to sleep tonight while you're sitting in the juvenile detention facility.
Eva's mother says her daughter was likely tired because their family does not have a permanent home.
Eva doesn't want to come outside. She doesn't want to be involved with no one else but family relatives. It's hard for her to sleep at night.
So that was my own version of scared straight.
After defending his actions in an interview last week, King was removed from the bench until he completes training, and Wayne State University dropped him as a part-time faculty member. King's attorney declined to comment on the lawsuit, saying King only wants the best outcome for this young person and all young people. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Police are searching for a woman who was caught on video enticing a tiger at a New Jersey zoo enclosure. It happened in Bridgerton. Police said the unidentified woman went over the wooden fence at the tiger enclosure at the zoo. She then began enticing the tiger and was nearly beaten. The woman eventually turns around and walks off, hopping back over the fence. A new labor market survey shows that Americans are searching for new jobs at a record rate. The New York Federal Reserve latest poll of consumers found that more than 28% of Americans are looking for a job. That's up more than 19.4% a year ago and the highest rate in a decade. The survey finding the average expected likelihood of becoming unemployed rose to 4.4%. Up from 3.9% a year ago and the highest level ever recorded for the survey. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is 6:07. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. On Wednesday, Carrero welcomes a new business to the city.
An emotionally charged day 3 of the Democratic National Convention with some Midwestern flair. I'm Jacqueline Lee. We'll have more coming up.
And it's another day of school coming up in your full forecast. We'll take a look at your school bus forecast and also look at your weather and health forecast. And coming up later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at your marine forecast and everything else that's going on out there in the tropics. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live in Cuero. Another real warm and humid one out there right now, sitting at 80 degrees, but your dew point at 78, 2 degrees off, bringing humidity to 94%. So definitely pretty humid out there. I'm not really expecting any fog out there this morning, so that's the good news. But bad news is it's going to be another hot day today. But good news, we're going to kind of go back and forth between good and bad. Good news is we're going to be back to cooling off this weekend with rain. But today, I've got chances of rain today at 10% for maybe 1 or 2 showers somewhere in our northwestern counties in Karnes or Gonzales County. Sometime after 6 p.m. I'm thinking all the way until 9 or 10 p.m. later this evening. But otherwise, lots of sunshine and maybe even some partly cloudy skies will ensue for some of us today, bringing us up to the hundreds again for most of us out there, with some of us in the upper 90s as well for your highs today. But I'm thinking about 100 degrees here in Victoria this afternoon, maybe 101 for a moment or so. Northwestern counties, like I said, Gonzales and Karnes, you're going to be between 103 to 105 for air temperatures. And Cuero and DeWitt County, you're going to be between 102 to 104. But like I said, everywhere getting closer to the coast, you're going to be in the upper 90s for today. But looking at your school bus forecast, I hope you all kiddos have a great day of school today. If you're heading out the door to get on that school bus, it's going to be just like it is right now, sitting in the upper 70s, low 80s. But as you're heading back home, it's going to be another hot day like you just saw there. I'm thinking about 100 here in Victoria today, so maybe make sure to pack those kiddos an extra water bottle for today, and also make sure to dress them in lightweight clothing and bright clothing as well. But good news is today is grass pollen is going to be moderate. That's not too bad. Same thing with air quality. UV index, that's extreme though, so please be careful on that. But good news also, as we go to this weekend, we're going to cool off. We're going to take a look at that coming up next. And now here's sports.
Now, the past couple of days, we covered a lot of 3A teams, and today we focus on the Goliad Tigers. They went 10-3 last season under head coach Kevin Salazar. He took over the program 4 years ago, and they were winless in district play when he kind of just started. So Goliad, they bring back a lot of different types of players, a lot of defensive players returning for the team, and they're projected as a top 10 team according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. And head coach Kevin Salazar likes both his guys competing for the jobs that are happening. So the Tigers, they were regional semifinals last year, and they're undefeated in district, and they're hoping they can do the same coming up this year.
Just the confidence of, what we were able to accomplish last year. But, obviously we told our guys, last year was last year. This is a new year, new group of guys. We do have a lot of returners back. We've got really good depth at a lot of positions, and, we bring back a experienced offensive and defensive front. So, those are two good things to build upon on the offensive and defensive side, is establishing that front.
The Tigers, they're prepared to make a huge jump this season as they open up versus the East Bernard Brahmas on August 30th. This is Max Williams, 25, News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus. The Democratic National Convention hosted a night of music, celebrities, and politics on day 3 of the National Convention. Vice presidential nominee Tim Walz takes the stage to speak.
Day 3 of the Democratic National Convention was packed with star power. John Legend, Stevie Wonder, and Oprah Winfrey lighting up the United Center. Former President Bill Clinton thanking Joe Biden for his service and willingness to give up political power, while slamming Trump over his age and temperament. Oprah Winfrey also welcomed by a thunderous applause, taking aim at Trump's running mate J.D. Vance's viral interview on women without children.
When a house is on fire, we don't ask about the homeowner's race or religion. We just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady, we try to get that cat out too.
But for Democrats, the real star of the night was Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz, who received a call from Kamala Harris ahead of his speech. Walz embracing his roles as a public school teacher, Midwestern neighbor, and his most important role, dad.
It took Gwen and I years, but we had access to fertility treatments. And when our daughter was born, we named her Hope. Hope, Gus, and Gwen, you are my entire world, and I love you.
One of the most touching moments of the night, Walz's son Gus, who has a nonverbal learning disorder, crying while appearing to say, "That's my dad." Walz also ripping into former President Trump, warning Harris's opponents are a threat to democracy.
It's an agenda that serves nobody except the richest and the most extreme amongst us. And it's an agenda that does nothing for our neighbors in need. Is it weird? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's also wrong.
Walz wrapped up his speech comparing the election to a football game, saying we're in the fourth quarter and Kamala Harris is ready to win and serve. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Chicago.
The city of Cuero welcomes a new business Wednesday morning, and Syria Partners Chevrolet has long aspired to join the Cuero community, and that dream came true on Wednesday with their grand opening celebration. Our Trenton Whiting has more.
Cuero welcomes the Ancira family's GMC dealership with the grand opening. Ernesto Ancira himself says how appealing the location was for their business.
It just is an area that has a lot of prosperity in its future. So we wanted to be here. And fortunately, we finally were able to put the right numbers together, and we're glad to be here.
Notable members of the community like the mayor and the Chamber of Commerce were present, but Ancira says that the most important people to their day-to-day operations are the workers.
They're the ones that are responsible for doing the job for the community. And my experience so far is we made the right move.
Food, drinks, and cake were served in one of the Ancira Partners' biggest ever ribbon-cutting events.
This is a significant amount of people to come out to the opening of a new store. We've had plenty of ribbon cuttings. We've been blessed at Ancira, and I'm not sure I've ever seen this amount of participation. I really feel like their arms are wrapped around us, so look forward to giving back to them too.
The building and workers were carried over from the previous dealership, as Ancira hopes to keep a strong relationship with the community.
It's amazing, and I kind of compared it to Mayberry, where everybody knows each other, everybody loves each other, everybody's nice to each other, and it's just a great atmosphere, and everybody's been very welcoming.
The location has been open since May, but today, the Ancira Partners received a hearty welcome from Cuero.
The time is now 6:17. Still to come, a new study is revealing some symptoms of long COVID may differ from children to adults. Sunrise birthdays. Happy birthday to Rayleigh. We want to wish you a happy 8th birthday to my niece Rayleigh. Hope you have a good one. Love Aunt Gina and cousin Quentin and Grandma and Grandpa.
Oh, happy birthday, Rayleigh. That's such a pretty name. And also happy 10th birthday to Steven. Happy birthday, Steven. Have the best day ever. Love your big old family.
Oh, happy birthday. And Dua Lipa will likely dance the night away tonight. It's her birthday. The superstar singer is 29.
Happy birthday, Dua Lipa. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click on the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
Time now on your morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure some of y'all were walking outside sometime yesterday afternoon and you were quite literally saying, wow, it is hot outside. Well, yes, I can surely tell you, yes, it was hot outside. And this is actually confirms it. This is the the observations over there near the Victoria Airport. Usually you would actually add a degree to get the actual temperature in the city because of urban heat outlet effect, but there was actually an anomaly of 1 degree yesterday for some reason. But so we actually reached 103 degrees, I think, yesterday afternoon at about 3:51, but that's 1 degree below our record set in 1930. But if you don't like the heat, here's the good news. Look at our temperatures. They're going to start dropping over the next 5 days, all the way back to the mid-90s as we start off the next work week. And why that is because we got some rain coming away. We're going to look at that here in just a second because looking at today, it's going to be another hot day. If you do go down to the beach, make sure to bring lots of water. Maybe bring an extra couple water bottles for you or your friend or so. But waves are going to be pretty smooth out there, 1 foot or less. But your water also very hot, not just the air temperature, 94 degrees. Yesterday it was 95 degrees, 5 degrees away from a hot tub temperature. That is absolutely incredible to me. But looking at the rest of the tropics, we do have a new tropical wave that it was out there earlier this week and going to late last week. That kind of died off, but then it's kind of reinvigorated up just a little bit. You can see a little bit of convection kind of sitting around it. That may come our way just a little bit as we go into later mid to late next week. I'm going to watch that real closely for you all to make sure nothing happens, but we're also watching this in the long term for the next 2 to 3 weeks for maybe possible development. We're going to take a look at that and more though later on Sunrise.
And now for today's question of the day. Today is National Burger Day. So we ask you, what state were hamburgers invented in? Like us on Facebook Crossroads today. Post your guess to today's question of the day. We'll read your guess live coming up. We'll have the answer later on Sunrise. A first of its kind study has found that the symptoms of long COVID can be different in kids compared to adults. The study funded by the National Institutes of Health asked the caregivers of more than 3,000 children about their kids' symptoms at least 90 days after COVID. Researchers found that among children aged 6 to 11, the most common symptoms were headaches, trouble with memories, and stomach pains. Adults more often dealt with fatigues, dizziness, brain fogs, and loss of taste and smell.
If a child is having prolonged headache or even stomach pain, these are symptoms we commonly see in pediatrics. But it's important to raise the awareness that if these symptoms are lingering, that it could be part of long COVID.
The study suggested that while symptoms alone aren't enough to officially diagnose long COVID, it is best to see a doctor if your child is having lingering issues. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, have you or someone you know experienced long COVID? 41% of you say yes, 59% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate in our viewer poll. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Plus, a judge ruling eliminates some limitations on who can enlist in the military. The details coming up. Today's question of the day. Today is National Burger Day. So we ask you, what state were hamburgers invented in?
Where were they invented in? That's a cool question. What are they saying this morning, Amaya?
Jesse says, good morning. Good morning to you, Jesse. Melanie says 8th in Texas in the 1800s. Mitchell, Wisconsin. Yolanda, Connecticut. Lisa says Texas. Jason says at Seymour Fair in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, an interesting guess. Well, were any of them right today?
We're finna check and see. So the answer is New York. In 1885, the Menchie's brothers traveled to New York for a county fair to sell food. When they ran out of pork sausage, they went to a butcher who gave them ground beef. They seasoned the meat with coffee, brown sugar, which would do it, and spicy servings. It was between two slices of bread. That sounds good.
Wow, that does sound really good. I did
good.
not think it was in New York.
I didn't think so either.
Wow, that stumped
crazy.
everybody. Well, well, thank y'all for taking part in today's question of the day. That's a real cool question on your National Burger Day. Well, good morning, folks. If you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live at Port Lavaca. Another warm and humid one out there. And actually, if you look really closely on your camera right there, looks like a little spooky cloudway out there in the distance. You're looking northeast towards Matagorda County and also towards Brazoria County as well along the immediate coast. That is actually a thunderstorm, believe that or not. We're going to look at that radar right now. We're looking off, like I said, out northeast towards Brazoria County and also Matagorda County. That's not in our counties, but it is heading into close towards Brazosport. I think also Surfside is also over here somewhere, but little thunderstorm over there out there this morning. I did not see that, but I don't think we're going to have any rain today because it's going to be a hot day. But looking at your temperatures all across the board, we are on the low 80s. Immediate coast, you are in the mid 80s. That's quite warm for your morning. But looking at your satellite, that is also pretty clear out there this morning, except for that one thunderstorm you can see right there just south of Houston. And that's going to bring another hot day today, folks. I'm talking 111 for parts of the state today, but I'm thinking here in the Crossroads, about 99 in Port Lavaca. No, I'm sorry, 96 this afternoon in Port Lavaca, about 100 here in Victoria, and I'm thinking 103 up in Cuero for today. But make sure to be careful in that heat. One more day of it before the cool down comes this weekend.
A federal court has ruled that the military can't keep HIV positive people out. The newest ruling broadly bars the military from preventing anyone with HIV from enlisting. The judge says that because HIV positive people with undetectable viral loads can't perform any military duties. The Centers for Disease Control says undetectable people cannot transmit the virus. The Defense Department has argued providing medicines to keep those viral loads undetectable will cost the military too much. Gaza ceasefire talks are set to resume in Egypt this weekend. The U.S. is still trying to push for a deal. The White House says President Joe Biden called Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday. Meanwhile, a school in central Gaza is damaged after an Israeli airstrike yesterday. Israel says Hamas was using the facility, but hasn't given evidence to show that. Gaza Civil Defense says the blast killed at least 2 people and injured 10 children. And in southern Gaza, thousands are evacuating on Israeli order. The time is now 6:28, still ahead. Day 3 of the Democratic National Convention took place yesterday with vice presidential nominee Tim Walz taking the stage. Stay with us, another half hour of 25 News Now Sunrise up next.